Thinking about packing up your life and planting your flag in a new state in 2025 or 2026? Maybe snag some real estate and declare, "This is my kingdom now." If you just shouted yes at your screen or whispered it dramatically to yourself, this video is the start of your golden ticket. We're about to dive into the top 15 states you might want to call home over the next couple of years. And stay there permanently. Meaning you'll move there the next couple of years, but you'll stay there forever, hopefully. But hold off speed dialing a realtor. First, you'll want to do some homework, and guess what? This video makes it almost fun. These states are the hot topics of internet searches for all the usual suspects. Crime rates, job opportunities, real estate prices, and everyone's favorite, taxes. Cue the groan. Sure, some folks don't bother with stats. They just go by what their gut or whatever their cousin's neighbor's dog walker told them. And hey, that's fine. But for the rest of you that enjoy a little logic in your life, stick around. We've got the juicy details you need. Got it? Get it? Good. Let's take a look. Number 15, Montana. Big sky country where the skies are huge, the mountains are majestic, and the population density isn't really a thing. If you like solitude, horses, and home prices around $400,000 that come with some acres, Montana is the state you've been looking for. Jobs these days are popping up in tourism, agriculture, and outdoor recreation. Living in Montana is like stepping into an old John Wayne movie, minus the bad guy shootouts. So why would you move there? Montana is where nature flexes hard, with sprawling national parks like Glacier and Yellowstone. It's a haven for outdoor enthusiasts. The cost of living is reasonable by most state standards, and with remote workers escaping cities, its wide open spaces and low population density are a huge draw. People are trading city stress for mornings filled with mountain views and nights under the starry skies. Plus, Montana's economy is seeing growth in tourism, outdoor recreation, like I'd said, and ranching, I guess. Who wouldn't want to live in a place where hiking to a waterfall can be your daily workout? The average home value in Montana right now, early 2025, is about $451,000, and that's gone up 3.1% from the beginning of 2024. Number 14, Texas. Now, this one's kind of strange because Texas is still a very popular state. They just don't get as many searches as a lot of other popular states. They used to. It's kind of slowed down a little bit. I think because everybody knows all they need to know about Texas to make that move. But everything is bigger in Texas, including the number of people moving there. With housing prices that hover around $300,000 and no state income tax, you'll have plenty of cash left over to buy cowboy boots and briskets. Tech hubs like Austin and Dallas are booming right now in case oil and cattle aren't your thing. But if eating your weight in barbecue every week is your thing, then you'll love Texas. So why are people moving here? Texas is like the ultimate buffet, something for everyone. Its booming cities, like I said, Austin, Dallas, and Houston to a degree, are tech hubs these days. While smaller towns offer charm and affordability, no state income tax is a major perk, and housing is still reasonable. Now, when I say reasonable, I'm not comparing it to, let's say, Mississippi or Louisiana or something like that. I'm comparing it to other popular states like Florida, California, New York, and compared to all those, it is absolutely affordable. They got warm weather and enough job opportunities to make your head spin. It's no wonder Texas has been a top choice for quite a few years now. And one other thing I probably should mention, because I eat my fill every time I go to Texas, tacos. They got them everywhere, and they are delicious everywhere. The average home value in Texas is about $299,000. That dropped 0.2% from January of 2024. Number 13, North Carolina. North Carolina, I'm surprised, isn't further down the list here because North Carolina, a lot of people are moving there. But I think they fall under the same thing as Texas does, that everyone knows everything they need to know about moving to North Carolina and they've already made their decision. In case you haven't, listen up. It's home to the Blue Ridge Mountains, stunning beaches, and more craft breweries than you can count. North Carolina is calling your name, you just might not know it yet. The houses hover between $300,000 and $350,000, and industries like biotech and finance are exploding in North Carolina. Plus, it's got the perfect mix of southern charm and mountain adventure. Bonus if you like art. Asheville's artsy vibe means you can pretend you're bohemian while sipping fancy coffee whenever you want. That is, once they get it back to normal after the big hurricane that hit them this year, which devastated that city. It'll bounce back. The North Carolina people are strong. They've seen this before. North Carolina nails the balance between affordable and opportunity. Cities like Raleigh and Charlotte are becoming tech and finance hotspots, and the small towns throughout North Carolina are just amazing. With the Blue Ridge Mountains to the west of the state and gorgeous beaches to the east, there's something for every kind of adventurer. The cost of living is about 9% below the national average, and job growth and, like I said, biotech, education, and manufacturing keeps people flocking in. The average home value in January of 2025 is about $327,000, and that is up 2% from January 2024. Number 12, Colorado. Colorado, where people flock to the mountains but stay for the legal herbs. Wink, wink. Homes sit around $550,000. That's pricey, sure. But can you really put a price on Rocky Mountain views and endless hiking trails? Jobs in tech, tourism, and green energy are abundant in Colorado. And Denver is basically a millennial paradise with breweries and bike lanes galore. You just got to dodge the homeless people. So why is everyone moving here? Colorado is a paradise for nature lovers, and it's also a booming hub of new industries. But skiing, hiking, biking, pick your adventure and do it in Colorado. Denver's a big city, and it comes with all the problems of big cities, but Boulder, Fort Collins, even Colorado Springs are amazing places to live. I love Colorado. I've said this before, but if this is the first time you've been to the channel, if you ever get a chance to take the Amtrak train through the Rocky Mountains from Denver, just go to, Salt Lake City or Reno, as I always do. It is one of the best trips and most amazing things to see in your life, I promise. Their craft breweries, too, oh my God, they're amazing. I mean, Portland, Oregon has a lot, but, Denver has their fair share, too. The average home value in Colorado is about $543,000. That is up 1% from the same time last year. Number 11, Nevada. Sure, Nevada has Las Vegas, but there is more to the state than slot machines and neon lights. With housing prices a little over $400,000, Nevada offers affordable living with no state income tax. The job market is booming in tech, entertainment, and logistics. Plus, if you get bored, you can always take a weekend trip to Area 51. Just don't ask what the government's hiding. They're kind of cagey about that. We had these weird buildings on this fort that I was stationed at one time, and I saw one of the guys that was like a guard there. I said, "What goes on in that building?" And he's standing right in front of it. He looks at me and goes, "What building?" I'm all, "The one behind you." He's all, "There's no building behind me." Okay. I just went on with my day. I wanted to say, you mean you haven't noticed the 3-story building with very few windows right behind you? That hasn't, triggered any curiosity in you? So why are people moving to Nevada? Well, a lot of people are starting to realize it's not just Vegas and Reno. For the longest time, that's all anyone ever thought was going on in Nevada. As taxes have gone up in every other state, more and more people are looking for places like Washington State and Nevada for no state income tax. So basically, it's a haven for people fleeing pricier states like California. The entertainment and tourism industries are massive here, but logistics and warehousing are also growing. They got a lot of open land. They can build a lot of places to do transportation and warehousing. And let's not forget the year-round desert, which means no snow blowers necessary. The average home value in Nevada is about $440,000, and that is up 5% from January of 2024. Number 10, Wyoming, where the cows outnumber the people. The state's motto here is equal rights. I think it should probably be, do you really need neighbors? Wyoming is the ultimate escape if you hate traffic, love fresh air, and don't mind waving at bison because they're your nearest neighbors. The housing market is amazing here, even though it's going up at a pretty good clip. The average home value is just a little over $350,000, which is practically free compared to California and New York prices. Jobs, sure, if you're into mining, construction, and tech. Yes, really, tech is booming there. Not booming yet. I'd say it's growing, though. The bonuses of living here is there's no rush hour and just the occasional cattle crossing. So why do a lot of people move here? The low taxes, low population, and landscapes that look like they belong on a calendar. Wyoming is perfect for those seeking a slower pace of life and a lower cost of living. Now, one other thing that is sort of growing in Wyoming is renewable energy. Windmills, solar panels, all that stuff. Wyoming is a very windy state. I mean, their wind is legendary. It only makes sense to put up windmills. And no, they don't cause cancer. One thing you might not like about Wyoming, or you might love about Wyoming, is there are no big cities. I mean, they've got Casper, Cheyenne, and Jackson, and they're really not big cities. Compared to most other states, these are actually medium cities by most state standards. The average home value in Wyoming is $352,000, and that is up 4.5% from January 2024. Number 9, Oklahoma. You might think Oklahoma is just tornadoes, barbecue, and dudes in cowboy hats. But this sleeper state is gaining fans faster than a YouTube video titled How to Save Money and Date Bikini Models. The cost of living in Oklahoma, it's downright laughable. 21% below the national average. Home prices hover around $200,000, which is what you'd get a parking space for in San Francisco. Jobs in aerospace and energy are booming, and Tulsa and Oklahoma City are actually kind of cool now. That's what they say. I don't see it that way. They're okay. I still wouldn't move to Oklahoma, but a lot of people are, and it's mainly because of the cost of living and the low housing prices. Real estate is cheap here. That's why people are moving here. Oklahoma combines affordability with surprising opportunities. Like I said, aerospace, energy, and defense industries are thriving, and getting a house for around $200,000, that seals the deal for most people. The average home value in Oklahoma is $203,000, and that is up 3.3% from January of 2024. Number 8, Vermont. Vermont, home of maple syrup, fall foliage, and enough small-town charm to power a Hallmark movie marathon. It's not the cheapest place to live. I mean, the average home value is a little under $400,000, but you get fresh air, stunning views, and neighbors who probably bake their own bread. Jobs? Sure, if you're into tourism and healthcare, but let's be honest, Vermont isn't for the simplify your life crowd who want a kayak between Zoom meetings. It's not like that. It's definitely not a tech hotspot by any stretch of the imagination. If you're into scenic beauty and sustainable living, Vermont has your name written all over it. And honestly, that fall foliage, it's so beautiful, you turn into a poet and cry occasionally. Quaint towns and a strong sense of community. Vermont offers a quality of life that feels straight out of a storybook. And if you love really, really fresh maple syrup, this is your new place to live. The average home value in Vermont is about $385,000, and that's up 0.4% from January of 2024. Number 7, Georgia. Georgia is where the peaches are sweet, the tea is sweeter, and the real estate prices make you want to swoon. Yes, they make you want to swoon. With an average of just over $300,000, you'll get a whole lot more than just a tiny backyard. Atlanta's got some booming industries in things like film and tech. But if the city life isn't your thing, they got charming towns all over the place like Savannah, Clayton, Covington, and Dillard. Georgia offers southern hospitality with big city opportunities. Now, I told you about film and tech in Atlanta. They also got a pretty big healthcare industry working in Atlanta. The state's cost of living is still 8% below the national average, and home prices on average are under $350,000. Throw in some of the best food in the country, and you've got a winner. The average home value in Georgia is $325,000. That is up 1.6% from January 2024. Number 6, South Carolina. South Carolina, where the beaches are sunny and the sweet tea flows like water. And that's a theme in the South in case you've never been. They all drink sweet tea, a ton of it. I used to go visit my family in Mississippi, and when I first started going there, or at least noticing things, I realized nobody drank soda there. They all drank sweet tea. But South Carolina, it's got its ups and downs, but a lot of people are starting to catch on with South Carolina. I think a lot of them are going, well, North Carolina is a great place to live. What's going on with South Carolina? This is another state that has skyrocketing jobs in healthcare and green energy. And why are people moving here? Beaches, history, and charm galore. South Carolina's low cost of living, which is about 11% below the national average, and affordable housing, which is under $300,000, are huge draws. Charleston's cultural scene and Greenville's tech growth make the state appealing for professionals and retirees. Mild weather and southern cuisine are the icing on an already delicious cake. The average home value in South Carolina is $294,000, and that is up 1.8% from January of 2024. Number 5, Idaho. Yes, what's really strange is Idaho's been popular for like 20 years for people to move. Not just Californians, but everyone wanted to move to Idaho. Somewhere around 2019, 2020, it started going down. Now, it was still one of the more popular states, but it was no longer number 1. From what I've seen since about 2023, they're moving back up the list for most move-to states. Now, if you move there, you'll learn that there's much more to this state than potatoes. I mean, that's what everyone thinks about Idaho. It's just potatoes and fishing. Idaho's a great state. Now, because of their popularity, they're a little expensive when it comes to real estate. The average home goes for around $450,000. But with all the mountain views and riverfront and lakefront property, you could find a lot of homes there well into the millions. If you love Instagramming sunsets and snow-capped mountains, Idaho's basically one giant photo shoot. So why do people want to move here? One, I hate to get into politics on this one, but the reality is a lot of people leaving California, Colorado, Washington, even Oregon. It's the politics. They're night and day compared to the other West Coast states. And yes, Idaho is considered a West Coast state. It's also considered a mountain state, and it's also considered part of the Pacific Northwest, even though it really doesn't touch the ocean at all. There's tons of regional maps, and that Idaho is always lumped in there with Washington, Oregon, and California. And a lot of times it's lumped in with just Oregon and Washington as a Pacific Northwest state. And before you say it, no, Oregon's not breaking off half its state and giving it to Idaho. It'll never happen, at least in our lifetimes. I know it's like this fever dream a lot of Eastern Oregon people have. It's ridiculous. I've said it many times, but once the taxpayers of Idaho see how much they'd have to pay Oregon to take all that land, which they would have to buy it because it belongs to the state of Oregon, not to those people. They can sell their land all they want. They just can't take it with them someplace. Yeah, it'll never happen. Even if they started to really move on it this month and Idaho, let's say, voted to do it, and Oregon, that part of Oregon, voted to do it, it would be 20 or 30 years before it would actually happen. And most of the people involved in it right now will be long dead by the time it does happen. So why do people move there? Well, the outdoorsy dream. The hiking, the skiing, the lakes galore. Idaho has become a haven for remote workers and young families. The cost of living is low compared to other coastal states, and industries like construction, manufacturing, and hospitality are growing. Plus, the state has a family-friendly vibe that pairs perfectly with the scenic beauty. The average home value in Idaho is about $450,000, and that is up 2.4% from January 2024. Number 4, Maine. Maine, where lobster rolls and lighthouses aren't just cliches, they're a way of life. Maine is a beautiful state, and you'd think their real estate would be extremely high. It's not. The average home value is right around $400,000. You can get oceanfront homes in Maine for about $300,000. Decent ones are going to set you back around $750,000, which you can't do that in most states. They just have so much coastline, they have a lot of houses on the coast. Poke around Zillow. You'll see what I'm talking about. It's amazing. There's a really nice one in a place called Dyer Cove, which is south of Addison. $500,000, surrounded by trees with oceanfront property or bayfront property, cove front property, whatever you want to call it. You got to deal with some winters. That's the big problem there. They have no crime outside of Augusta, really. I was just in Bar Harbor, and I couldn't believe some of the mansions they had right on the coast outside of town. Right now, I was looking on Zillow. There's one of those homes I'd happen to look at, which is a giant mansion, and it's beautiful, like 7 bedrooms, right on the water. Well, there's a cliff, but $7.4 million is what it's going for. Knowing what I know about real estate, if you tried to buy a house like that in California, it'd be easily $20 million. Oregon, it would probably be about $10 million. New York, probably be $20 million. But the real reason people are moving to Maine is the outdoors, the low crime, and it's great for retirees that don't mind cold weather. Tourism, renewable energy, and seafood are the main job draws here. Plus, where else can you eat lobsters while watching the sunrise over Foggy Harbor? The average home value in Maine is $395,000. That is up 3.5% from January 2024. Number 3, Arizona. If you like sunshine, cacti, and not shoveling snow, Arizona is a dream. Housing costs? Yeah, they're under $330,000 on average. A steal compared to California. Job markets are booming in tech, healthcare, and finance, and the outdoor lifestyle gets a chef's kiss. Just remember, sunscreen isn't optional here, it's a lifestyle choice. So why do so many people move to Arizona? Well, it's the cost of living. It's a lot lower than in California, and that's where a lot of people are coming from. A lot of people also choose Arizona to retire instead of retiring in Florida. Some people don't like hurricanes and humidity. Myself, if I had to retire someplace like that, I would definitely choose Arizona over Florida because the humidity would kill me. I mean, I'm not even a desert person. I would totally prefer dry heat over humidity. Still heat, but you get what I'm saying. Manufacturing industries are booming, especially in cities like Phoenix and Tucson, and the outdoor lifestyle is just amazing. It's always summer there. The average home value in Arizona is $426,000, and that is up 0.4% from January 2024. Number 2, Tennessee. Anyone see this one coming? Tennessee started gaining popularity. Well, they've always been kind of popular like a lot of states, but in the last couple of years, I've started seeing more searches for it on Google. Sure, none of those searches are, should I move to Memphis? But there's a lot of very nice places to live in Tennessee. It's the land of music, mountains, and housing prices that'll make you weep with joy. At under $320,000 on average, you can get a decent-sized home and a plate of Nashville hot chicken for just over $316,000. It's like the American dream, but with banjos. Tennessee is the full package though. Low cost living, low state income tax, and a booming job market. If you end up in Nashville, it leads in healthcare and music, while Knoxville and Memphis offer opportunities in manufacturing and logistics. Memphis, you get the added bonus of combat experience. The average home value in Tennessee is $316,000. That is up 2.1% from January 2024. All right, before we get to number 1, if you're thinking about moving to one of these states, there's a link for Home and Money in the description area below. They can get you in touch with a real estate agent anywhere in the country. All right, back to the video. And number 1, Florida. Finally, Florida, the state where life feels like a permanent vacation, except during hurricane season. Now, Florida is a very popular state, and it's another one that, for a very popular state, they're very affordable. Housing is under $390,000 on average, no state income tax, and a booming job market in healthcare, tourism, and tech. The beaches are always Instagram worthy. Whether you're into theme parks, retiree golf carts, or just soaking up the sun, Florida's got you covered. Pro tip though, invest in good AC. Florida is a no-brainer for people that love warm weather and beaches. They do have some problems and they're going through some stuff right now, but it's still a great option to retire or just move. The average home value in Florida is $386,000, and that is down 1% from January 2024. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, you probably like one of the 2 videos being suggested right now. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.